Let's take a look at primary tonal patterns. In this section, we're going to focus on the basic rules for tonal patterns that will be the backbone of all the tonal patterns that you do. In the next section, we'll take a look at some alternate ideas and different ways you can build upon your tonal patterns. So, the first section of primary tonal patterns says use simple syllables for melodic patterns. Okay? Young children are still learning to use their mouths for speech, but the simple syllables mentioned below are the ones that are the easiest for children to say first in their lives. This way they can focus on the pitches without worrying about the first hurdle of saying certain consonants or syllables. And these syllables are ba or bam, are the most common. And you can also do some fun animal songs like moo or ba or any other animal sound that you like, but those are some really primary ones once again. So, because children are still learning to use their mouths, we want to keep it really simple. So you're going to use things like ba 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 or bum 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 is the best one for tonal patterns. That'll be your most common. You can think of bum as your default syllable for tonal patterns. And a lot of times, if we're coming out of a fun song like Old MacDonald or I Had a Little Rooster, anything that deals with animals, it can be really fun to do an animal sound. You could either do the same animal sound for everyone, or you could even let certain children say, "What's your favorite animal?" and do that sound for their individual tonal patterns. So you could do moo 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 or ba ba ba. It's always fun as a sheep. And personally, I like to bring out puppets during some of my animal tonal patterns. So I'll bring out a cow puppet and say moo 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 moo. So those are the syllables you're going to use. Next section says use 2 or 3 notes for each tonal pattern. 3 is the most common. You're going to want to do 3 notes for most of your tonal patterns and occasionally just 2. You rarely want to go above that to 4 or 5 notes in a pattern unless perhaps you have an older child like a 4-year-old or an upper 3-year-old who you feel like could use the challenge. But people tend to cognize things, to recognize things in groups of 2 or 3. If you think about your phone numbers, social security numbers, credit card numbers, etc., it's all in groups of 2 or 3. And of course, where you have 4 or 5 numbers together, you can think of that as groups of 2 or 3 as well. So it's best to keep your patterns to 3 notes at the max, and sometimes even just 2. Now here are the 4 primary tonal patterns you can use. You don't always have to use these, and I recommend not doing these every time, but this will be, the largest chunk of what you'll do. Think of this as the backbone of musical learning. And they're based on major triads, which we talked about in the music theory section. And let's take a look. So the first one is the 1, 3, and the 5, or the perfect 1, the major 3, and the perfect 5 if you're in a major key, or the perfect 1, minor 3, and perfect 5 in a minor key. You're like, what are you talking about? Well, let's take a look. So bum 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 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then bum 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 is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's take a look at that on the keyboard. I have GarageBand open here somewhere. There we go. So if we're in the key of C, for instance, okay, bum, I'll go up here, bum. So 1, 3, 5 be 1, 3, 5, 5, 3, 1, bum 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 bum. And once again, this is the 1, the 2, 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5 in a C major. Now, if we were in minor, it would be 1, 3, 5, 5, 3, 1. And once again, major, 1, 3, 5, 5, 3, 1. And of course, you're not actually going to say these numbers. You're going to go bum, 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 or moo, 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 moo. Now I'm showing you all the stuff on the keyboard here, and we're going to look at some stuff on musical notation, but really what I want you to be doing is just developing your ears for this. So as soon as you're done with a song, it'll seem very natural and obvious how to do the 1, 3, 5 and the 5, 3, 1. A good rule of thumb or a good reference to identify your 1, 3, 5 is the wheels in the bus. Wheels in the bus go round and round. 1, 1, 1, 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. So that's something you can always use as a little memory trick. Now that was in C, and it's nice and easy with the white keys. Let's say we were in A. you say 1, 3, 5, bum, 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 or in minor, bum, 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 bum. And if we were in, let's say, D, bum, 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 bum. 1, 3, 5, 5, 3, 1, or minor 1, 3, 5, 5, 3, 1. So that's a quick look at the 1, 3, and the 5. Now, you can also do something like the 6 and the 4 and the 2, and then maybe just a 5, 1, and those are some of the basic patterns you can do with the group. So let's take a look. 6, 4, 2. Let's say we're in C. Here's 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. Well, here's 2, here's 4, and here's 6. So I typically do this. Bum, 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 bum. Then I do bum, 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 which is 6, 4, 2. And then I do 5, 1, bum, bum. Or 1, 5, 1, bum, bum, bum for the last one. So you typically do 4 patterns with the group before you break into individual patterns, and that particular group of patterns can be the backbone of what you choose most of the time, or for the first few weeks at least, of each session. So in order, let's go through them. We go bum, bum, bum. Everybody repeats bum, bum, bum. And then you go bum, 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 bum. And 6, 4, 2. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. So there's the major backbone of your primary tonal patterns. Here's the same thing written out just in letter form, and here's the same thing in music notation form for those musicians who choose to do it that way. Now you can also, besides doing these patterns, what I really want you to be doing most of the time is improvising some patterns as well. So you might start off with the 1, 3, 5, 5, 3, 1, and then for the last 2 you can you really have some fun with it. So let's say we go bum, 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 bum. You can really make up whatever you like, and we'll look at different ways to improvise under the alternate tonal pattern ideas.